right, let's go ahead and get started. Hope I didn't jump scare anybody. You can be quiet. Alright. Man, what a day, man. I feel like I've been running around like a headless chicken. Alright. How's everybody doing today? What's up, Wolfpack? Today we got some interesting repairs going on for today. We have a Nintendo Switch OLED part 2 of the USB-C replacement. Actually, let me message the customer right now. Alright, sweet. Phone on silent. Hope everybody's doing good today on a Monday. Got some new followers, but I know that's because of the sweepstakes, but I appreciate it anyway. I think that would be fun. And yes, if you guys don't know, I'm going to announce a few things just to kick the stream off. Number one, Wolfpack Electronics is doing a sweepstakes. You can sign up. There's going to be a link down below in my About section. If you're on the YouTube side of the stream, though, you probably I made a post, so go to my account and look under posts, and you should see the link to the sweepstakes. So what is the sweepstakes going to be about? What are we giving away? We are giving away one of these bad boys right here. It's in hand, not faking jacks, as my cousins like to say. No cap, as the young kids say. We not messing around. So we got a whole Nintendo Switch ready to go. The drawing will be made on Saturday, June 14th. Hey, it's Gene. Hello. So yeah, I was just talking about the sweepstakes coming up. So just to let everybody know, if you click the picture down below in my About section that says sweepstakes, it'll take you to the link to sign up for the giveaway. There's just a bit of information you need. Some of it's mandatory just to make sure that this happens in as fair of a way as possible. But yeah, you guys should sign up, man. Your chances, I mean, what do you got to lose? You know, a few minutes, I can understand, but I mean, versus how many hours of work is that? Let's say if you get paid $20 an hour. What is that? Man, my brain is dead. 250? No. 25. Yeah. Something like that. Jeez, hold up. Let me whip out the calculator. I'm stupid. So 500 divided by 20. It's 25. Okay, I'm not completely brain dead right now. It's been quite a day at work. Sorry. But yeah. So if you haven't signed up, definitely sign up for that. The second announcement that I want to start telling people about is we have a Discord and a subreddit now, a Wolfpack Electronics Discord. Sign up for that. You can select your role of things you're interested in, and you can always change that in the future. It doesn't lock you in, but then you'll only have access to the channels, particularly to the thing that you're interested in. So it's a good community. I'm trying to build it up, get more action in there. Eventually, I'm going to start playing video games with my viewers soon. So like Gene is a big Warframe player, so I'm thinking I'm having a Warframe channel real soon. I play Destiny quite a bit, Mario Kart. Shoot, if you win the giveaway, we could play Mario Kart together. That'd be cool. But yeah, we have a Discord and we have a sweepstakes going on right now. Now that I got that out of the way, let's go ahead and get on with this repair. So I started this repair last week, Saturday, but I didn't realize the USB-C port component is different between the Nintendo Switch OLED versus non-OLED. So I had to get that on order, and it showed up late yesterday. Oh man, the cable is putting too much tension on it. It's pushing it. Alright, hold on one second. I'm just going to readjust the camera. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. But be sure to sign up. Okay, so where I left off on this guy, let's see. You know what? Let me clean up this thermal paste because it's starting to get on my nerves. Oh man, camera's getting tweaked. I wonder if it needs to be like rotated like this. Sorry to disorient you guys like this, but I like to make sure everything's in frame as best as I can. Oh man, it irks me so much. Okay, anyway, I'll stop messing with that. Let's go ahead and clean this thermal paste off. Yeah, I just got home from my day job not too long ago. I didn't even change, so I'm just like, you know what, let me just go live, I'll change later. Alright, let's go ahead and get rid of all this old thermal compound. I usually don't like to wear gloves for this, but that's okay. That's okay. I got more gloves. Man, this thermal compound doesn't want to come off so graciously. I guess because it was still kind of fresh. But once you break that seal, you gotta reapply to remake it. Last thing you want is air. Air is a great insulator, so it prevents heat from transferring the way it should. Alright, let's go ahead. Turn my soldering stations on. See, I already applied flux before I realized that the ports were not the same. Let's go overhead and switch to the microscope view. Man, a good job cleaning out those holes. If I do say so myself. So we can see our anchor points are nice and cleared up. Zoom the camera out a little bit. So we just need to apply, you know what, I might clean up this old flux. So it's been exposed to air for a while, but it might still be good to go with actually. You know what, yeah, I'm just gonna go with it. I think it'll be fun. Let's go ahead and get our hot air station going. Do I want to I might use my Omnivice. I believe this is what I used when I removed the port, but I may not do that. I may just something with some weight. Try to hold this thing down. Yeah, there we go. That's good. It's a very small motherboard, very light. It's gonna move around when I try to solder down the USB-C port. Alright, so here are the ports that came in. There's definitely a delta between the two, for sure. This one's like a lot shorter. Doesn't protrude as much. Switch back over. See if I can show you guys what I'm doing as best I can. But yeah, Gene, how you doing? Mr. Bulletproof himself. In the flesh. Saw you briefly not too long ago, but I didn't get to really talk with you. You make that dinner yet? You said you were gonna make some dinner. Alpha in the background. Hey, Dad. This guy. Alright, yeah, that lines up so much better. Oh, yeah. This was the right one. I wonder if I should just do the anchor points. No, you have to use hot air to get this thing soldered down. If you don't, not gonna be a fun day. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and scoot this away from my workbench, line it up, and just apply hot air. Just make sure these holes line up. Okay, I think I have it lined up pretty well. Go ahead and put our nozzle on. Yipper is nice and full. What'd you end up popping out? What'd you make? I'm curious. Also, how often do you cook? Like, would you say like you cook for survival like me, or do you like dabble in like harder recipes and whatnot? Be curious to learn about the bro. Alright, so we're going to be applying heat. Watch for it to just melt into place. Alright, I'm getting blown up. Let me move this a little bit more to the edge without moving it. Okay, cool. Let's see. Oh, let me get this in camera focus for you guys so you can see what I'm doing. So I want those pins to melt that you guys are eyeballing there. These pins right there. So I'm going to apply hot air on the underside of the board to heat it up, to get it hot enough. We want all the solder to melt, get fully liquidous, pull the port into place, and make sure it's aligned again. Nice. I'm just moving my hot air back and forth to heat up the whole area. And I see liquidity. Let's let it dwell a little bit longer just to make sure. It's going to melt the plastic section of the connector. But alright, I think we got it. I'm going to just wait for it to cool down and harden, then I'm going to double check. I do cook, but I was lazy tonight, just made pizza. Hey, did the guy from Germany ever send you those beats? No. But I haven't asked. I'll have to ask him. Konsa was his SoundCloud page. I did check it out. I liked some of his beats. I went and I listened to quite a bit of them, actually. Ooh, let's see if we got this thing soldered down. I wonder if there's a way I can test this right away. The problem is with this, unlike an HDMI port, there's pins on the underside of the connector. I wonder if I should heat it up and like maybe push down. Actually, I reapply some flux and heat to this and try to push it down just to make sure these connections are being made, because they're blind. I can't see them, unfortunately. Let's go ahead and do the thing again. You know what? I want to ask him if I could use some of his music in my stream. I think that would be cool. Okay. Hey Jeff. Hey Tina. He said he would. Oh no, he said he'd send me his SoundCloud, which he did, but not to use in my stream, just to listen to. SoundCloud is kind of like Spotify, but for up-and-coming artists who just want to post their stuff. Okay, that looks a bit better. I still can't see those other pins, but let's see if I plug this up, if what kind of current it pulls. Just double check. Let me let it cool off. I'm gonna use alcohol to help it cool off. I'm just gonna clean it, and the alcohol will help cool it off faster, so I can go ahead and test it. In fact, let me do this under the microscope. Alright, this underside looks better. Still need to test though. Hoping we got all those pins on the underside that I can't see. Push test these. This will be like a good barometer. Alright, let me connect a USB-C cable and let us see. See if it's pulling what it needs to. The only other thing I can think of is I'm going to have to remove the port, tin all the pins, and then try again. If this didn't work, just doing it kind of like how I always do it with other things, if that doesn't work, then I'm going to have to do the pre-tin the pins method, just to get solder on the pins before I try to use hot air. Alright, let's go ahead and connect the cable. Let's see. There's no battery though. Yeah, that's right. It's not gonna. Yeah, it's not pulling anything. Okay. Let's go ahead and remove the connector, and then I'm going to tin the pins before trying to install it. I think for this type of connector where there's blind pins, I think that's necessary. Okay. Go ahead and get the hot air station on again. Add my flux. We're going to go back over to the microscope view. Got the connector back off. Yeah, not a single pin got soldered down. Okay, so then this is what we're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to do this thing the fun but not really way. This will be the fun but not really way. So we're gonna have to get solder on these pins. Yeah, you can see the pins that made a connection and the ones that didn't. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to add flux. Might do the drag solder method because I don't want to hold it on each pin for too long. So I don't want to melt the connector. As much as I can, I don't want to melt the plastic part of the connector. Alright. Let me zoom in a bit more. It's gonna get a little blurry. We're good. So basically I'm going to be adding solder to all these pins. It's called tinning. Alright, the right side is looking good. Now we're going to do the left side. Alright, these pins are nice and tinned. Make sure there's no bridges on them, because that would suck. Alright, I think we have a prepped USB-C connector. Now we're going to re-attempt the install. I'm also going to double check this side of it, the motherboard side. Let's double check it now that we have it out. We can actually do something now. It's easy to do something. It's kind of like measuring. You got to do all your prep. Just do it when you can. You know, even if you think something's not worth doing, just do it. It's not worth it, because then you're gonna have to take it off, and then there's risk of taking pads and traces off. It's not worth it. Looks good. I'm actually gonna test something real quick with my multimeter to make sure that trace is still good, because I did see burn marks on Saturday. So let's just make sure that that connection is actually still there on the board. It goes from here to here. Okay. it's not going anywhere else, and it's not going to ground. Okay, that's good. That's what I wanted to check. Let's go ahead and reattempt this connector install now that we have both the connector tinned and the motherboard tinned with solder. Alright, we got the connector all aligned. We have our flux down, we have our pins tinned. Let's do this again. Alright, our hot air station is up to temp. Let's go ahead and do this thing. Okay, starting to look pretty good. I'm seeing looks pretty good. Let's get all those pins nice and melted. Alright, let's give it a look. It's gonna be nice and toasty. There's a way. Okay, so I have a feeling we may not have gotten all the pins, so I'm going to attempt something different. Or more of the same, but I'm going to push it down now. It's rough when these double road pin connectors, you got to work with them. It's a little rough, but it's okay. holding until this thing cools off. Okay, it just cooled off. Alright, let's do an inspection. Oh yeah, that looks good, but that's just the back end. But I'm gonna assume if this side of it's good, then the whole thing is good. Oh yeah. Better get this thing in focus. Alright, all those connections look good. Yes, the connector melted a little bit, but that's okay as long as the internal side is good. Which it is, thankfully. Those pins look good. So, alright, let's go back to the overhead, and I'm going to try to cool this board off again and clean it. Cool and clean. And it's fine Monday evening. Oh wait, actually, I don't need to do that. Like this is a cartridge. Forgot I had these blowing the front. I gotta connect the battery to test this. Let's see. Okay, it's not still hot. So that's good. Oh, we got a message for Start Play 1. Hey Jeff, how's the NS2? Nintendo Switch 2 is pretty fun. I think Mario Kart isn't quite there for me in terms of a game that's a system seller. But overall it's fun. I've been playing Nintendo Switch Online service a lot. So just playing like Soul Calibur 2. That's what I've really been playing on it. Alright, let's see. What does this thing draw? Alright. We have half an amp. 0.2 amps. 0.1, 0.2. Alright, so it's drawing about 200 milliamps. When is it going to switch over and draw more? Sandman. Cam says, what are those squares on the green thing? The squares on the green thing? Oh, those are just metal shields. They use them as shielding to protect certain components. That's what those are. They're shields. So I'm seeing a 200 milliamp draw. I think that's kind of low. I think it needs to be pulling more. Then again, maybe it doesn't because it's not fully reassembled. So let me attempt fully reassembling it. Let me see if there's a way to test it without fully reassembling real quick, and then we will go ahead and do that. Let's see. Another cam question. What's the black circle? Oh, this is just tape. It's called Kapton tape. Here, I'll type it in chat. It resists heat, and it resists heat, and it's electrically non-conductive. So since this thing still isn't pulling the current I expect, I'm gonna go ahead and see if there's any shorts on the board. Let's test for shorts briefly. Short circuit. Let's test for a short circuit. See if a component failed, because we did see that burn mark on the board. So I'm wondering if it took out another chip. Whatever caused that pin to be burned, I wonder if it took out another chip. Let's see. This as my ground spot. Okay, so there's a shorted component here. Let me show you guys under the microscope what I'm seeing. When I say shorted component, what am I talking about? So around this chip, so when this thing charges, signals go to this chip here. Let me clean it off because it's hard to see the numbers on it. So let me clean it off. You guys can see what I'm talking about. So this is the BQ chip. This thing, so I'm seeing a short across this capacitor right here, this one. So if I use this metal shielding just above right here, I'm going to use this metal shielding. I'm going to keep my probe there, and I'm going to show you guys that there's a short. So on this side, we're reading a short, and then on this side of the cap, it's reading short. That should not be the case. If I had to guess correctly, this side is ground, and then this side is not. Now there is an inductor here, so I wonder if that might actually be proper because of this inductor. Well, no, the inductor's here. There's isolation. Okay. Okay, now I'm not getting a short. Oh, okay. Wasn't shorted to ground. I guess it was just where I was probing. My bad for misspeaking on that. So I'm gonna short that way. And short that way. Okay. I'm still suspicious of this one. Okay, so it is lead dependent, perhaps. Let me see if I can find anything while I'm here that stands out to me. That's worth checking out. Try to double check these solder joints on the USB-C connection. These ones look good, but I can't tell about the underside. You know what, let me reassemble and then try to test that way. Maybe there's some system checks that it needs to be fully in. The circle on the switch, she says, oh, this is just a fan to cool off the switch. This is a fan. Have you been able... Oh, my bad. Hey, it's Billtron. What's good with you, man? Player 1 said, have you been able to play NS titles from your library on the NS2? I've seen people showcase speed improvements with no upgrade patches, but also heard LFG carts aren't working on the NS2? Uh-oh. I haven't tried an LFG. Or, do you mean LRG? Limited Run Games? I think that's a typo. Do a reassembly. Meant limited run. Yeah, okay. I thought you did. This one has more of an issue. I did replace the USB-C port and it's still not happy, so we'll have to figure out why. That's going to take more time, but I like to let them decide what they want to do. let's reestablish these connections and see what we get from there. Uh-oh, that does make me worried. Now I want to go ahead and test one of my LRG games. See what's good with it. And sometimes getting these ribbon cables in could be a pain, a royal pain in the butt. Okay, that one's in. Gotta dang near be a surgeon. Alright, we got it in. Close that down. Let's get a few more of these in. Sorry if I'm missing some of your comments. Actually, I should have done the battery last. Should always do the battery last. Let's see. Alright, it's pulling 0.2 amps. Still nothing. It's not good. I think there's a chip failure. It's not just a USB-C port replacement. Oh, I went to Best Buy after the midnight event last Thursday. Heard from the employees that it was an amazing time. The Nintendo session was looking a little cooked. Oh yeah, it is super cooked. There's like nothing. There's no pro controllers, no nothing. Oh man, how'd my camera get so tweaked? Welcome to the pack. TTV Joe 2020. Alright, let's see about... Yo, hey, it's Hustler. Hey, it's the guy whose Xbox you just fixed. Oh, hey man. Hey man, welcome. Welcome to the pack. Appreciate you being here. We're working on a Nintendo Switch OLED right now that's having it's a no charge repair. Initially it was anticipated that it was the USB-C port was bad, but I just replaced the USB-C port. And it's still not charging. It's having the same exact behavior. I'd be interested to see how the Japanese NS games would play on the US. Oh, that's a good point. I wonder if they region locked it. Hey, it's Ben. You guys signed up for the sweepstakes? You guys signed up for the sweepstakes? I hope you did. Yeah, locked in. Nice. No, we weren't able to, I guess. What do you mean you weren't able to? It just went live yesterday. You have to do, here, I'll post the link. It's also in the About section of my Twitch account, but I will post a link here shortly in the chat. Copy link. Boom. That's the link. Tap that and sign up. Here, I'll put it in the YouTube chat too. Alright. Let me do a little bit more investigating as to why the charging circuit is not doing its thing. Okay. I wonder if It has an M or Max chip. I should power up something around Max chip. Nintendo Switch OLED. No. Yeah, I might have to spend more time with this off stream. Because the research side of things isn't as fun. Okay, got it. Awesome. Glad to hear it, Ben. Jeff, is this a newer Xbox? Is what a new Xbox? What I'm working on now is a Nintendo Switch OLED. Let's see, what's the current draw? Oh, huh. Current draw is 0.6 amps now. Is the battery just super dead? It's pulling 0.6 amps now. That's an improvement. I wonder if how long it's probably been dead for a long time, right? Because if it wasn't able to charge, I wonder if it just the battery got so depleted that it's like it's just acting up. Let me look into that. I would have melted the whole thing. But the work you were doing on the port was amazing. Oh, also, oh, you've been in the chat for a little while. Nice. You know what? You know what? Let me try something, and then we're gonna maybe move on, and I'm gonna circle back to this off stream. I want to use the OEM power supply. I do know sometimes that can add some weirdness. And granted, I don't have this thing fully reassembled in terms of like the speakers aren't connected, but I doubt that would cause an issue. I didn't connect the game card slot. I wonder if it checks for it. Yeah, that would cause an issue, but you know what? Let me do it. I'm gonna go plug this up in on that back TV right now, and then we're going to work on something else. This is an OEM Nintendo Switch power supply. Let's see if we get a different result by using this. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Look at that. Well, you can't see it. It's so small, but it's working. Oh, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Man, I was losing my mind. I was losing my stuff. Oh, can you believe it? Can you believe we don't have a jacuzzi? Can you believe it? Can you believe we don't have a I'm playing. Let's go. Pop off of the year. Or pop off of the week. Actually, no, the pop off of the week is gonna be on Saturday. It's okay. I guess this charger. Oh, wow, I'm tripping. Look, now it's charging. Bam! Oh, wait, wrong camera. Oopsies. Bam! What's that in the top left? You see that? You see that? That's the happiest I've ever been to see that. You see that? Look at that. Look at it. It's beautiful. Beautiful. Kiss it. Alright, let's go, baby. I was losing hope in myself for a little bit. That happens. That's part of the fun. Keeps it exciting. So all this Google searching didn't do me any good. Just figured it out. Let's go. Well, dang, now I gotta take it apart and fully solder in the connector now. But that's a good, I'm glad it's charging now though. Dang, yo, I was about to be salty. You know what? I kind of want it to get to the full boot screen, and then I'm gonna go ahead. So maybe it doesn't. So it goes from like low current to 0.6 amps. Okay, so I'm glad you know what? That thing, it was just in my head. All right, Eddie. Gus. I said, Eddie. Hey man, I'm excited. Don't be hate. I know you're not. All right, where's my Gosh, man, I gotta figure this thing out and get this bigger. But this is what I wanted to put. Bam! Put that in the chat. I would have melted the whole thing. Yo, this is exciting. Okay, so player one said, will the sweepstakes stream be dual streamed like now or Twitch only? It will be dual streamed. It will be dual streamed. Part of the official rules of the sweepstakes, you have 90 seconds to announce yourself after I call the winner. If you don't announce yourself within 90 seconds, you forfeit your spot, basically. And I'm gonna move on to the next person. Oh man, I'm so glad it's charging. Alright, what do you guys say? Should I take it back apart and just fully solder in the connector now? Or should I wait for it to just boot up to the full main menu? What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Alright, my dad says wait. Oh, Ben says boot it. That's 1 for 1. That's 1 for 1. Oh man, the solder paste is still nice and juicy. Well, I can do that in the meantime. No, let me scrape it off. Just to be sure. Okay. Alright. Oh, so you guys both say boot up. My bad. I read that wrong. Okay. Yeah, I'll wait. You're right. Patience is key. So in the meantime, all I'm going to do now is clean up the old solder paste off of the back plate. Yeah, this OLED is, the thermal paste is so fresh on it. I wonder if they recently got it. Or maybe not even a year. Maybe about a year or less is what I'm thinking. Because this stuff is fresh. It's still like juicy, you know? It's hard to explain, but you know what I mean. If you ever work with thermal paste, you know that old thermal paste gets super dry. At least 30%? Dang. That's a lot of percent. I don't know if I want to wait that long. I agreed with you the first time, Dad, but I don't know, man. 30%, that's a lot of percent. But you know what? I might just do that and start moving on to the next repair. Oh man, I touched this stuff. I hate touching thermal paste. It's like poking your fingers in toothpaste. Like, nobody likes that. Who likes that? Nobody. I don't like it. I know you don't like it. You don't like it. I don't like it. Nobody likes it. Now, Play-Doh, that's another story. But thermal paste, nah. We don't like that. Dang, I'm so hyped, man. I was getting worried. I'm like, after I was checking for that short and I realized I just had my leads, I just needed to rotate my leads. I was like, okay. I didn't realize that because this is my first time working on a Switch OLED. So I'm like, oh, okay. Let's see. And yeah, sure enough, that's what it was. Alright. Man, you gotta get in all the nooks and crannies of this thing, man. Thermal paste everywhere. Then you got this copper type thermal paste and then the normal style. Alright. I say let it boot up. And you guys are very wise individuals. Very wise individuals. Alright, we still have the charging symbol. We still have a charging symbol in the top right corner. I wonder if I should go back to the OEM one. Let me go back to the OEM one. And just have it charging in the background over here. And then I can check on it. Okay. So while that is doing its thing and charging up, we are going to work on a what do you call that thing? Man, I'm having a brain fart. Xbox, a newer Xbox. It's a newer Xbox. Oh, you like that last beat? It was fast and upbeat. Well, we can go back one song just for you. So this song is called Eden's Leaves, and then this song is called Drifting Off. It's by Harris Heller. Here, let me see if I can copy it and put it in the chat. I don't know if you use Spotify or if you use most people use Spotify. So here's the Spotify link to the song. Okay. Here, I put the song in the chat. Alright, I'll be right back, peoples. I am going to grab that Xbox One X that has the issue. And there's two of them with this issue. Okay. Xbox One X. No HDMI output was the issue on this thing. Let me see about trying to turn this thing on. Alright, so that's a good sign. This thing has never been opened. Oh, wait. Never mind, I take that back. It has been opened. It has been opened by a third party. So let's see. Let's see what we can do. Because I have so much clutter on my workbench, or on this test bench, it's a little annoying to work around. That's alright. Just get rid of stuff we need to get rid of, and clear up some space. Oopsie, I need to switch over to the talking cam. My bad. Alright. Let's see what we can see. So I'm going to connect power and my HDMI cable. I'm going to go ahead and get that connected. Now the Xbox Series, or Xbox One X, has two HDMI outputs. It has a output and an input. Not two outputs. It has an output and an input. one for your TV, because Xbox at the time they were trying to make the Xbox One your one console for all your entertainment, so you could like use it for television, you could use it to play your movies, but at the same time play your games on it. It was a good concept. It didn't really pan out for Microsoft, I'll tell you that much. They lost that year. That was the first year PlayStation was back in the lead until the Nintendo Switch came out, and then the Nintendo Switch just bodied everybody in terms of sales. So there's that. Okay, stay organized. And I'm going to need, and so from what I'm seeing as well, it's on HDMI output, but we're getting no signal. No signal. I fixed an Xbox One X that had this issue before, and what it ended up being was a particular IC on the motherboard, a chip. It's called the retimer chip. I think I have one in stock. I'm pretty sure I do. I'm gonna have to go to my stockpile and grab it. But this is the exact issue you'll see. You'll turn your Xbox One on. It doesn't matter if it's a Series S or a Series, or I keep saying Series, my bad. Xbox's nomenclature was a little bit annoying. But this is an Xbox One. It doesn't matter if it's an Xbox One X or S. I've seen it more commonly in the Xbox One X. But this is the issue it has. Your HDMI port is totally fine, but you get no picture. It's like it just died. So that's it. Hey, booted up. Can you believe it? It booted up. Wow. The Switch is at 1% battery life for the first time in like a week. Alright, so I can work on that. I can wrap that one up so that way before we move on. But I wanted to get to this point with this guy while we're waiting on it. Actually, no, we're going to get it to 30%. I forgot. So yeah, this is the issue you'll see. Just blank screen. Sometimes you'll even still get sound, but no picture. So I fixed that once before, and I think we can do it again. So that's what we're going to do. Let's disconnect the HDMI cable. Wait for it to fully shut down. I like to gracefully shut things down. I don't like to force things to be off. So let it boot up. Thank you. Alright, sweet. No new chats. Alrighty. I will be right back, peoples. Just relax, maybe get a beverage, use the restroom. Alright, I do have the IC in stock. I knew I did. But I only have one, so no pressure, right? Can't mess up. And since I'm walking by my Frigidaire, I'm going to grab a coconut water to satisfy my Caribbean side. Alright. My agua de coco. Alright, so here's the chip. Let's go over to the overhead cam. Alright, so here's that little chip I was talking about. Little bitty IC. This thing usually fails. So as my first attempt to try to fix it, I think this is it based on my previous experience and expertise. Sound all fancy. But yeah. So let's go ahead and get this thing assembled while that Nintendo Switch continues to charge up. I'm curious, any bets on where it's at right now? Any Wall Street bets? You know what? It might. I might fully turn it off because I don't have the heatsink on there, And I don't want this thing getting too hot. Just realized that. So let me fully shut it down. Turn it off completely and leave it charged. Not have it in rest mode. I don't want to overheat the CPU at all. Alright. So Xbox One X. It's been a while since I've done this, so I'm going to pull up a user guide. I usually like to use iFixit's guides. Xbox One X. Let's go ahead and get started with this thing. So we have two screws in the back. It looks like another company put their own type of anti-tampering sticker. So I don't know if this thing failed before. I usually don't like working on a console that somebody else has worked on, because usually you have to correct things and it causes things to take longer. Yeah, these aren't OEM anti-tamper stickers. Some company or whatever. Yeah, I need a bigger size bit. Since this one. Wow, it's even one size bigger than that. What is this? T3? T5? T3. Player one said, "Oh, by chance, have you seen any teardowns of the NS2? Saw one shortly after the midnight release on YouTube." Oh no, I'm purposely not looking at them so that I can have my raw reactions on Saturday when I do my teardown stream before the sweepstakes. So I'm sure iFixit has theirs out too. What the heck? Wait, what screw is this? Oh, they put a sticker over it. Yeah, I'm the king of not liking spoilers, and to me that's just a spoiler. I want to have my raw reaction. Like, oh yeah, I took the thing apart for myself the first time. Is it the first video on the internet? No, it's not world's first. But I just prefer to do it that way. That way I can have the same reaction anybody who hasn't watched it has. That's all. I think it'll make it more fun if my reactions can be genuine instead of acting like I never seen it before or something. But that's just my preference. I think it's cool that someone already took it apart. I know iFixit, that's like their bread and butter, right? What the heck? So this piece of the console is broken off. Okay. Alright, I will put that to the side. Barely even touch the thing. I think just wanted to pop on. There's no way that was me. Alright. Let's go ahead and get the side antennas off. Man, this thing is dusty. Excuse me. Alright, so we need a smaller screw size. Alright, we got this antenna cable disconnected. Let's put that to the side. On that. Okay, another antenna disconnected. Alright, now Microsoft's notorious for having screws that go all the way through. And that's what attaches this to the main to the underside chassis. Let's see. Yeah, these are the ones. These flatheads. Oh, we got someone new in the chat. Hey, Monday stream, just like you said. That's right. Balku. I try to keep my word these days. I'm trying to be more consistent with my stream schedule. How can I expect people to show up if I don't show up? You know what I mean? Put up or shut up. You know what I'm saying? You missed the pop-off, though. I'm not going to lie. If you came a little bit sooner, you would have seen me do my little pop-off dance. Were you able to catch any or watch later the PlayStation State of Play? If so, and any games on your radar? Well, I will say I have been seeing highlights. I have not rewatched it. I kind of want to, just to get the full picture of exactly everything they were announcing. But I know there was something I sent to my cousin when I saw it. There was like a sequel of a game that's coming out, and I was really excited for it. Oh man, 1 second. I sent it to my cousin. Yo, yeah, Scott Pilgrim EX. I am a huge Scott Pilgrim fan. Huge Scott Pilgrim fan. And Ben said, Jeff, was it hard for you to learn your organization skills? And who did you get that from? Well, I will say I didn't develop my level of appreciation for organization until later in life. I will say a lot of it stems from just not liking inefficiency, but also my dad is very organized, so I got to give him credit there. So was my mom when it came to some things, but then again, I don't want to make a comment that's like sexist or anything, but I don't know. Just some of my friends who are girls, their cars are just a little rough. But my dad was always like super meticulous. Like all his tools, they have a spot. Everything goes back to its place. So I would say both parents really, but definitely later in my life it was my dad for sure. Cause like all his tools have a specific drawer they go in. Like if you work in his garage, and I do the same thing. Like all my tools have a specific drawer they go in. So it's just those kind of habits you pick up from your folks. Alright, let's see. Alright, so the top shell. This shell should come off now. Did I miss a screw? What am I missing here? It wants to come out. This thing is dusty. Oh, there we go. Uh-oh, we have some bugs. I don't like bugs. You know what? I didn't message her. customer whose Xbox One X this belongs to. Let me message her. There she is. Twitch and YouTube. We are live. Said got it. Okay. Oh, nice. One game that caught my eye on PlayStation State of Play was Bloodstained: The Scarlet Engagement. Oh, they're making a new Bloodstained game? I know you being a Castlevania fan, I know you're definitely going to have an appreciation for the Bloodstained series. I think Ritual the Night slaps, and I just picked up one not too long ago. It's still sealed. GameStop was running a promotion. That junk was so cheap. I was like, oh yeah, I'm scooping that up. So yeah, if you're a Castlevania fan, those games are pretty hype. Alright, let's continue onward. Kinda want to check on that Nintendo Switch to see where it's at. Alright, so we have these underside screws. So this was left underside and right underside. Nice. See, man, I didn't even change. I got home from work and just bam, straight to streaming. Alright, so PSU. I think we're gonna take the disk drive out first. Maybe not. I know there's like an order of operations here. Okay, so the fan screws, there's screws still holding the fan in place, and there's screws still holding the power supply in place. Alright, so let's get these screws off. One game that, oh yeah. Is there anything else that caught your eye, Player One? Mr. Press Start. Stop stalling, man. Press start. Man, I'm so glad I started using those like forearm grip strengtheners. Like I got a really nice one that you can adjust the weights. I've noticed I get a lot less pain when using a screwdriver. And then also, what prompted me to get it though is when I was doing that camera installation job for a local business here. Local Kava Bar, a new one that just opened up. I was making my own Ethernet cables, and after going through and making like 20 crimps, my wrist started hurting, my arm started hurting. I'm like, yo, what is this? Since when did I get so weak? I was like, we can't be having this. So I bought that thing just to start working on my my forearm strength, my hand strength, my grip strength. I'm like, yo, this is ridiculous. I was like, the old me would be laughing at myself right now. That's okay. Or the younger me, my bad. I am the old me. Or older me. screw, and that should free up all these components. But I'm gonna want to turn it around all like one unit. So okay, let's see if we can do that. Everything together and flip it over. Nice. Maybe it is disk drive first. Okay. Alright, disk drive is out. And that disk drive looks fairly identical to the disk drive in the Series X. I wouldn't be surprised if they just reuse them. In fact, that would be smart. And Amphenol is everywhere, man. They make all the connectors for everybody all the time, always. Like every time we buy a connector at my day job, or most of the ones we use, they're Amphenol. Man, that's a lot of dust, man. Kind of want to take this thing into the garage. Use my ultra blowimatron. He said Marvel, Tokon, Fighting Souls, and Pragmative. I'm gonna have to look those up. So if you're looking forward to them, then I need to look forward to them. Oh yeah, did you see? I'm pretty sure you did, but like the Shinobi remake or something? I wasn't entirely sure what it was. I wanted to ask you about it. See what your thoughts were. Alright, got the fan assembly. Yeah, I think this one's going to be a candidate for a good compressor session. Air compressor session. Where'd these come from? Oh, these mostly came off the shelf. Yeah. Okay. So they came off this portion. Okay. Nice. This one, yeah. Nice. Okay. Oh yeah, ordered it through LRGs and I have it on my wish list on Steam. Gotcha. Okay, so we're approaching that retimer chip. Alright, power supply is out. Jeez, very dusty. Alright, let's go ahead and remove these last 4 screws so we can get the rest of the console out. Or the motherboard out. And when you use a bit, and it works on 3 of the 4 screws, and then on the 4th screw it's like it's not the right size. What kind of mess is that? See, these are the little things people don't see. This is the junk that will really get you aggravated. It's like, what sense does that make? How? Like, when, who, what, when, where, why, and how? Alright, so this heat sink should be able to come off, or at least the motherboard come out. Nice. Right, where's that IC? I know it's by the US. Oh, there it is. There it is. There you are. Okay, I see the chip that I'm going to be replacing. Alright, we need to get this heat sink off. I think it's just old thermal grease holding it down at this point. And there's some bug legs. Oh man, I'm tripping. Gotta take the X clamp off. Of course the heatsink's not gonna come off if the X clamp's still on. It's trash. So I like to use a flathead screwdriver. Oh yeah, I found that flathead I was looking for the other day. Figured out where it went. X clamp is off. Alright, now we can take the heatsink off. Over here fighting this thing for no reason. Didn't even want to fight. Alright, we're definitely going to have to replace this old thermal compound. Let's put this to the side. Alright, so the chip we're going to want to replace is this guy right here. I recognize him. I've worked with him before. Not a bad guy, but he tends to go on breaks. Kind of like SpongeBob. Please pardon the noise. I just like to have a clean working surface, if at all possible. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, this guy should be in totally good shape. The HDMI port. Yeah, the HDMI port is in perfectly good shape. And that's what you typically see with this issue. Because, you know, usually if you got no video output, like on these newer gen consoles, it's usually the HDMI port took a hit somewhere, somehow. But with this particular issue, with this particular IC, it has nothing to do with it. The HDMI port looks totally fine. Okay. Well, I know what we need to do, so it's just a matter of let's get it done. Let's get it done. I'm going to show you guys the chip in the microscope view. Let's go ahead and show you guys. Alright, we got this guy, this TDP-158 chip. This is the guy. HDMI retimer chip. We're going to go ahead and get this guy replaced. Zoom out some so you can get the whole thing in frame. U29. Done this repair before. I'm fairly confident that this is the culprit right here. For something like this, let's go ahead and clean some dust off. And we're going to apply a healthy amount of flux around the whole thing. And this thing is going to take a lot of heat. So this is not for the faint of heart, because it's going to feel like you're burning something or you're doing something wrong. But there's a thick, nice, juicy ground plane underneath this. And if you don't have a thermal prepper to get the whole board up to a specific temperature, this is what you're going to experience. So let me move my meter out of the way. Let me clean up my work surface a little bit. I'm going to use these tweezers. Yep. And this one I can show you guys on the microscope because I don't need to go to the edge of the board to do it, or the edge of my workbench to do it. So this is going to be nice. You guys are going to get to see it. Alright, let's go ahead and get the hot air station cooking. Let's get it warming up. Alright, ramping up. Alright, so first thing that's going to melt is the flux. Gotta keep going until this thing gets nice and toasty. Even when all these outer pins melt, I'm still gonna have to wait because of that ground plane. bombarding this thing with hot air so I can get it to lit. It's almost there. Almost there. This thing is hot. So much so it's starting to cook my hand, and this is with gloves on. Alright, just like that. So see, that we had to melt all that solder on the underside, that's why it takes so long. Okay, so now that we have that out, go ahead and switch my soldering iron tip and prep the pads. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add solder, remove it, and then add some more. We're gonna add solder to all these pins. You know what? Let me turn on my larger soldering iron. Get more flux on here. All the solder seems to want to pull to the center ground pad, which I don't care for. That's alright. Ben said, don't know about the Shinobi game, but did you download the new Nintendo Switch Retro game? Oh, like, you can play the Nintendo GameCube games? I've been playing that a lot. I've been playing, Soul Calibur. That's one of the main games on there. That got a lot of visual improvement. There's some expansion thing, yes, for the GameCube. That's been very fun. Like, I just finished Weapon Master mode. I'm trying to unlock all the characters and stages so I can play with my friend Gene. Next time he's around and I have my Switch around. Because he's actually pretty good at Soul Calibur. He actually kicked my butt. Uh-oh, this isn't good. This is not good. We got solder in weird spots in a weird kind of configuration. Don't like it. I don't want to rip any pads up. Okay, good. So I think we cleaned off a good amount of the old solder. So now I'm going to try to add fresh solder. And I'm going to zoom in here with my... actually, let me clean this up. I think we're going to have to do the same thing, but in reverse. I'm just cleaning off what? Oh yeah, I wonder what charge that Nintendo Switch is at. Yes, I heard about that. I heard about Arcade Monsters having a fire and a fire truck swinging by there. I wanted to stop in and be like, hey, you guys need some repairs? I'm playing. That's so bad. Try to profit off their pain. That's not smart. But I was definitely concerned. Because I like that place a lot. I go there usually whenever I can. Whenever there's like a group in town. You know. But yes, I did hear about that. Alright, so right now I want to properly tin each one of these pins, get some fresh solder on there. Alright, let me clean up the solder a little bit off the ground plane, and then we're going to go ahead and install the new IC. See what we get. I think that's a good amount of solder for the ground plane. I'm going to go ahead and clean up this old flux because it's been burned. And then we're going to use some fresh flux. Alright, let's do it. This is the fun part. Man, that looks clean. Yes, sir. Clean and fresh solder. I may still need to touch it up after the fact, which I'm going to do before reassembling and trying to test. But we should be good to test at this point. Or to install the new chip. Look at that new guy. Alright, so we need to rotate it this way. Make sure we line up our polarity mark, which is there. Alright, let's see about making sure we have it lined up. As best we can, we're going to line it up. Alright, that looks good. Oh darn, I forgot to put flux down. I'm doing all this alignment with no flux. Let's get a nice bead all the way around. And a little on the ground plane. Don't want it to get trapped underneath there. Let's go ahead, bring it back down. our alignment is as good as it's gonna get. The nice thing about solder is it can wick itself into place. That's the nice thing about soldering on new components. That is a saving grace. It's almost like magic. Alright, so now I'm gonna have to apply heat, and I have to be very careful not to get too close because I don't want to blow the chip off the board. That would be annoying. Well, let's do it. Oh, sorry, Mr. Chat. Oh, that reminds me, today on Facebook Marketplace, I saw a Sega Game Gear for sale with games and a carry case for a good price. The system was dead, caps, I'm sure, of course. Not only a tempted, but thought of WPD. PG? Maybe WPE? Wolfpack Electronics? You thought of little old me? Maybe? I think you're saying? I hope. That is very tempting. I agree with you there. Alright, let's do it. Let's start giving it the beans. Try to be careful. Oh, there it goes. It wants to twist and shout everywhere. It's going to take quite a bit of thermal energy to melt that ground plane. Oh no, my hand slipped. I think we're still, oh my god. Get back in place. Something's cooking my hand. Yeah, last time I did this thing was cooking my hand. Why it blows so much heat. It's like it reflects it off the board and into your hand. Doesn't feel too good. Trying to like line this thing up while your hand's burning. That's alright. It's all an alignment game. Alright, now that it hardened and solidified in place, we're going to touch up the solder joints. It looks clean, thanks, but looks can be deceiving. I've worked on this thing before and boy, it got me. but we're going to really take a look at it under the microscope at an angle for all 4 angles as best we can. If I can't show you on the microscope, I'll have to that's super zoom. It zoomed in kind of quick. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to touch it up. Touch up these joints. You see the rightmost joint looks good. Looks all nice and soldered down, but the others look like they didn't get enough solder. So that's all we're going to do. I'm not adding solder to my tip. All I'm going to do is just touch them up. Literally, just tap them. I may need to add solder. Alright, I spoke too soon. Okay, that looks good. Looks good. Oh man. Getting the top of the chip dirty. Here, I'm gonna go over to the overhead cam while I focus on this. I'm gonna have to zoom in more and get this boy cleaned up. Definitely want to add some solder. Let me add flux so that the solder can just bead onto all of them. To add solder to my soldering iron tip, and then I'm going to drag solder. Useful technique. You know what? I might use a conical tip for this one instead of the knife tip. It might be a little too inept for this type of application. WPE, that's right. That is the acronym, best acronym of all time. CAP, but that's all right. Okay. Alright, let's go back over to the microscope view. I'm going to show you guys these other angles. Illuminated angles. Let's see. How's that coming through? Let's see. Seems to be coming through alright. So we're going to touch up these solder joints manually. At least the alignment was good. I'm really proud about that one. Alright, let me add some solder. Let's get that in focus for you guys. There we go. Man, it's already 10 o'clock. Okay, thing got out of focus. Let's see, what did it lean up on? One second, you guys. I'm gonna get this thing in focus. There we go. There we go. Let's see it at an angle. Oh yeah, those are beautiful. Those are some beautiful joints. Oh yeah. All right, on to the next side. We got two more. We got, what is it? 2 down, 2 to go. All right, let's see if we can get a good angle in focus. No, it's kind of rough because I got to do this thing at an angle. Alright, that angle looks good. We got one more angle. So like sound like 360 juice. Don't forget your angles. Gotta hit all angles. 30 strokes, all angles. Pause. He's a guy that likes to get waves in his hair. I don't know if you've seen that on some black people. It's easy for them to get waves because of the type of hair they have, the consistency, and yeah. That's just one of the things he says. Like, you gotta hit all angles, and he's got like an interesting accent. I'm definitely gonna have to add solder to this side. Holy moly. Yeah, let's do that. Bring this down. Alright. Oh yeah, and let me not forget, I have to fully reassemble that Nintendo Switch OLED. I mean, I know it works now. I guess I should check about what charge it's at. Let's look at these pins up close. Get this thing in focus. Oh, I need to zoom in. This thing doesn't go any higher, huh? Excuse me. Alright, since I know what's capable, I'm gonna redo this angle because this can be way better than what it is. This guy, this angle. Could be so much better. Oh, Jeff, do you have a Spotify playlist? I've been thinking about making that. A Wolfpackelectronics Spotify playlist. Oh, look at Kylie sneaking in. Look at her. Look at the little sneaky. That should be more than 30 by now. That should be more than 30 by now. Oh yeah, the Nintendo Switch battery? I agree. I'm gonna check on it right after I finish touching up these solder joints on this side. They're not quite up to snuff. Alright, so I'm gonna bring this down, add my solder, and then we'll touch it up. It's rough getting this thing lined up. Alright, here we go. Let's add some more. You know, they say when in doubt, do without, but in this case, not so much. We need to add more. Oh, that's why. There's a lot of grounds on here. Okay. So drag soldering might not be the best method. That's right, hey to you, my sister. Alright, I am confident with this one. So let's go ahead and get it cleaned up, but we're going to, after we clean it up, we're going to go ahead and check the Nintendo Switch OLED. What am I doing? I need my microscope to see this. It's way too tiny. Make sure I'm really cleaning it well. Doing it and doing it and doing it well. I forgot about that song. Just keep scrubbing, just keep scrubbing, just keep scrubbing, scrubbing. Oh yeah, nice and clean. I like that. Get all along. What was that? That was Jim Carrey, right? I forgot what movie he says that in. LL Cool J, yeah, that's right. And Dory. See, you get the references. I'm a Disney baby and a rap baby. Hip hop, that was the era I grew up in. Huge hip hop fan. And then every once in a while I get the urge to go back, right? So like the LL Cool J era, Tribe Called Quest, Wu-Tang, Raekwon, Prophecy, like Mobb Deep, like kind of like old school New York rap, which is where rap started, right? New York. So the history of it. Alright, that chip looking good, man. It's beautimous. I want to test this one now so bad, but let me check the Nintendo Switch battery right now. Let's get that checked. Let's see where it's at. Let's see what percentage it's at. Alright, we got it turning on. Let's turn it on. I see Nintendo Switch saying it with that beautimous OLED screen. Dang, it's at 60. Woo-wee. Let me bring it closer for y'all. For the people in the back. Let me bring it closer for the people in the back. Let me oh, I can't. Can I touch it? Hopefully parental controls aren't on. Oh, it's the news app. I don't want to see that. Get that garbage out of my face. Alright, let's go over to the overhead cam then. I feel like it'll be a better shot. Things come through with a little less glare because I don't have light directly in the line of sight. Look at that. Look at that. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Okay, that's a bit close. But it's working. Woo! Alright, let me get this thing off. And the next step is to fully reassemble and contact the customer. But that's a W. That's a W. You know what? Let me be nice and fully charge it for them. So at least when they get it back, they can have a nice play session. Let me be a good guy, chill guy. All right, let's get this guy reassembled and tested. So, oh yeah, I forgot. I wanted to use my air compressor on this thing. This thing is gnarly, but I don't need to worry about those pieces. I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna turn on my air compressor. Oh, gotta turn off my alarm. Turn off the alarm. I don't need a siren going off on stream. Sound like people are coming for me or something. Alright. BRB. Alright. Sometimes the little blowimatron is just not enough, you know? It's not enough. It's too much dust. It's too much cake. Not the good kind. Alright, let's see if my educated guess. Yes, I said educated with an M in there. My educated guess is was accurate based on my prior experience with these consoles. Let's see. What do we need for boot? We're gonna need a power button. I think that is definitely necessary. I don't know how you turn it on without it, so we need that. We need a power supply, because who doesn't like a little juice? We need that. Okay, that's just the USB port. Where's the power button? Okay. Alright. We're gonna need, we don't need the fan assembly, I don't think. I don't think it'll get hot enough for that. So I won't be incorporating that. So we need boot drive. So let's get that. So we're going to need the hard drive so it has an operating system to boot off of. We're going to need a power supply because it's going to need juice. Right? Got to give it the beans. This was for the disk drive. I'm pretty sure it can boot without it, so I'm not going to worry about that. Got line up all these pegs before I push down on the pins. Okay, those are all lined up. Everything looking good. Let me see if I have an ESD bag I can put this on. I prefer not to put it on the fabric. So I'm going to put it inside of this. Right? Is this the right orientation? No. This is the right orientation. I don't need to. You know what? I'll just take this piece of the chassis and use that. And I need to declutter this workbench, this tabletop bench. I will be right back to switch the camera. Switch the camera into, for the people in the back mode. I think this is all we need to oh no, we need the power button. We need that. Where did I put that? I believe this is it. Yep, this is it. This is the power button. Power button will connect over yonder. Over yonder. Wait a minute. Got the power button in, hard drive in, and power supply. So let's go ahead and give it some sauce, aka juice. Let me put the HDMI cable in first, so I don't have to fiddle with that. Now, after the fact, okay. Give it the beans. Let's see. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Let's see. Ah, it turned back off. Wait, did it? Did it turn back off? I guess it has a failsafe for something not being plugged in. Darn it. Okay. It has a failsafe, so I'm gonna have to reassemble it a bit more. I'm pretty sure it detects something is not connected, so it's not booting in order to protect itself. Which, I mean, kudos to the Xbox for doing that. But it doesn't help my endeavor to test this thing. I want to test it without having to fully assemble it, you know? Just let the kids listen to Blackstreet, yeah. Do you use the same type of air compressor for the gadgets as for your cars? Yep. My air compressor in my garage has a regulator, so I can control the PSI, because you don't want to put blast like components off. You don't want to have too much force. I want to get an air compressor used for the car. Which one would you recommend? So the one I got, I really like it. It's a tankless or oilless or something one. It has a good capacity. It's like 275 like psi of air it can hold. It has a regulator on it. And I got it on sale at Best Buy, or not Best Buy, Harbor Freight when they were running a promotion. So, highly recommend that one. That one's nice. I'll have to send you all the info. Alright, Xbox, you win. I'll reassemble you. I'm feeling pretty confident. I don't want to be overconfident, but I'm feeling pretty confident. I'm gonna be right back because I'm gonna be hey, info, please, thank you, say, of course. They always have good deals on our coupon. Yes, they do. Harbor Freight is one of my favorite stores. So I'm gonna just go on the BRB overlay because I'm gonna be in the garage using air, compressed air, to clean off a lot of this because it's pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. This thing is pretty dusty, so you guys can stay. Maybe go to the restroom real quick, take a potty break, maybe get a beverage. You got options. Brand new whip just happened. we'll be right back. BRB. Alright. Everything has been blown off. Pause. Alright, let's go ahead and get this all reassembled. Okay. What's up, bruv? Hey, it's Lou Galm. Mr. Gam of Lou. How you doing, broski? We are working on an Xbox. We got one repair done a little bit earlier. Now we're gonna be when working on this Xbox as it charges, because it was a Nintendo Switch OLED that had a USB-C port that was bad. And so now we're working on an Xbox One X that had no video, but the HDMI port was in great condition. So what could it be? Excuse me. Let's get thermal paste. I gotta clean it off of this guy. Clean it off of this guy before we apply it on the die, the CPU die. Let's go ahead and flip. Nice. That was a successful flip. I feel like a gymnast. I was able to flip this, all the crusty old thermal compound off and didn't get it anywhere I didn't want it. That's a W. So now that we got the big chunks off, we'll clean the rest of it with alcohol. Good old 99.9% IPA. And by the way, the percentage is just how much it's diluted with water, right? Obviously, right? In hindsight. But some people don't know that. So 99% alcohol is 99% alcohol. So there's like less than 1% alcohol or water in there. Distilled water. So that's why they tell you not to use 99% on wounds, to use like 70%. Because you don't want to be too harsh to your body. That's lighter fluid. Good point, yes. You can definitely start a fire. You can have a fire. Oh Lord, it's a fire. Oh Lord, it's a fire. Get that nice bead. Scrumptious. Nice bead of thermal paste. It was a scrumptious amount. No shoes or nothing. Jesus. Who needs toes, man? Toes are overrated. What do I look like? TSM Daquan? Come on, man. I don't need no toes. Give me them toes. Man, I miss Daquan, man. He was funny. I didn't even care about Fortnite. I don't even like Fortnite, but I would just watch Fortnite because of Daquan, because he was just so funny. If they like vape or not, but this dust is like, it doesn't want to come off. It's like sticky. Usually I can tell what kind of recreational activities my customers are into based on the condition of their console. Now I don't judge, that's not my place, but I know. Heat sink with the thermal compound. Let's get the X clamp on. Funny cigarettes. Ew, no, that was from that Ain't Nobody Got Time for That lady. That's funny. Vape, funny cigarettes. Yeah, the goofy kind. But hey, man, everybody got their thing. That's not my place to judge. Which, yeah. Everybody got their thing. Their thug dizzle. Alright. It's always the last one that's gotta be annoying, man. All the other X clamps went in their position, all the other sockets, but this one, no! Can't just do what you're supposed to, huh? No. You just gotta resist. Just gotta resist. This ain't really resisting. He is resisting. Pet hair is probably a big issue. Yes, confirmed. Let me try to finish on a different one instead of this guy. This guy's giving me too much issue. Not worth it. Not worth a slippage. Knock a component off or something ridiculous. Man, what happened to my bit? Okay. Man, this thing is like really resisting. It's not like there's so many ways it can go in. Okay. Yeah, so that doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Things I gotta deal with. These consoles, man. There we go. Alright. What? Just say, don't tell me you're just gonna pop off like that. Alright. Wait, is this thing holding? Uh-oh. This guy doesn't want to hold down. Caught one of your past streams a couple days ago. At one point you mentioned you enjoyed Yeast Nordics. Have you played any of the OG Yeast titles? Oh yeah, I think I own all of them. Not physically. I have them on Steam though, and I play them quite often. Not often, but when I was playing them, I played them like I just went through. Resistance is futile, exactly. There we go. Finally. Best Buy. And so this goes in like this. Right. Let's go ahead and get these screws in. Any of these older East games that stood out? Honestly, I think I'm like, was it East 2? Here, I'm opening up my Steam now, so I can take a look. Alright, so Yeast. Let's see, which one was up? Yeast Origins, I enjoyed. I played that one a lot, and then Othin Felgana is good. I know they re-released that. Yeast 8 is good. Memories of Celceta slapped. Like, that was probably one of my favorite ones. I think I remember playing that one on the PSP, actually. Right. So we have all that in. Let me do the fan, the hard drive, the disk drive. Let me get that section all up and compiled and attached. Let's do that. So, got fan assembly. Actually, let me do power supply cable. At least let me get the power supply cable like this. You would think this would be straightforward. There we go. Alright, we got the fan connected. You know what, let me disconnect the fan. I think I'm gonna attach this to this. Maybe I'll screw it in place and then I'll worry about getting that thing in there. There we go. Let's get 2 of these screws in. Then I'll make it easier for me to route it. Man, it's already 10:30. Time flies, man. Awesome. Were you aware that Yuzo Koshiro created some of the tracks in Ys Books 1 and 2? Oh, really? I didn't know that. Man, she's so awesome. That is some raw talent right there. Raw science talent. Stemming back from like the 16-bit era. I don't know if they did anything in the 8-bit era. I'm curious. I think they came on the scene kind of in the 16-bit era. That guy is cracked when it comes to making music for video games. His music just slaps. Honestly, it doesn't even. I don't even care if you're into video games or not. His music's just good. Alright, now let's get this thing routed properly. In a way that doesn't annoy the daylights out of me. There we go. Problem solving. Raw science. Raw science. Let's get the disk drive in. Nice. Alright, then we got the two trays. One for the power button. What's this guy? This side or this side? This side. Alright, for all intents and purposes, this console is fully assembled. Oh man, I just bumped my camera with my hat. That's no bueno. Out. Alright, let's get the camera switched. The computer did start in 8-bit, mostly on Japanese PCs of the first time. PC 0088. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. That's cool to know. Man, I love talking to you and Joe. You guys have so much knowledge. Alright, it's staying on now. I'm guessing it needed the fan assembly. That's what it cared about. HDMI. Let's see if we get some picture on the screen. Looks like it's thinking about it. Not getting picture. Let's see. Am I in the right port? HDMI in, HDMI out. I was in the correct port. Next thing I want to try is the reset process. Let me try that. Let me see if I can try the reset process, and if that does it. If that doesn't do it, then I'm going to have to maybe reflow the chip or get another one, or it could be an issue not that, but let's see. Xbox One X resolution reset.
Xbox console. Press and hold the Xbox button for 5 seconds to turn off the console. Press and hold the Xbox button and eject button until you hear a beep to turn on the console. You will hear one beep right away and a second beep 10 seconds later. The power light will flash on before the second beep. Do not let go until the second beep occurs. Okay, on the console. For 5 seconds, turn the console. Alright, let's do that. Oh man, the eject button is built into this guy. It's annoying. Alright, that's fine. Find a way to get this guy connected. I'm just trying to connect the ribbon cable for the eject button. You know what? Let me just bring it over to my bench because I need my tools. Alright, let's keep going. Overhead. You know, when I first did this repair, I had to go at it a few times, so I'm not worried. Maybe like, oh, I didn't hold heat onto that chip for long enough, so it didn't solder, like a certain part didn't get melted. So that could be it. It's the first time I did this, boy, was it frustrating. Oh yeah, my hat really did a number on the camera angle. Let's fix that. Alright. Let's get the camera angle changed. Is there any game out there that you consider the worst game ever made? Yeah, Superman 64. That's easy. Yeah. Superman 64 is an abomination. Shouldn't exist. The game is so bad. And I was so hyped to play it because I think the cartridge was blue. I think. I could be wrong. I was just hyped to, I was excited to like play it, and then I played it and I'm like, yo, what the heck is this garbage? Alright, let's see if that does it. I just did the whole resolution reset method. Let's see if that causes us to get a picture. If not, I think I'm gonna have to go back over that chip again. did the trick. Okay. So yeah, when I did it before, I had to like really reflow the chip. So, alright, that one I'm going to save it for, let's see, maybe Wednesday is the next time I'll be able to stream. Or I might do it off camera. Because when things require a little more troubleshooting, I feel like it's not as exciting. So like, I like to make this kind of like a show, where we're showing more like cause and effect. You see something broken, you see it fixed at the end at least, I'll have to let the customer know and get back to them. That's the thing about repairs, man. Sometimes it's not quite there. Alright, so I think that's plenty of charge, right? Oh, over the cam. This is the Nintendo Switch. 85% battery. I think that's plenty confirmed working. I'm gonna go ahead and power this thing all the way off. Alright, and then I gotta take it apart to put it back together. You know what? If taking apart the Nintendo Switch 2 this upcoming Saturday is gonna be anything like the original Nintendo Switch, that's probably gonna be a short stream. I'm just saying. I don't know, man. I feel like I'm pretty nasty at taking these things apart. I feel like it may not take me as much time, which is good because it is a Saturday night. I don't want to hold up people too much for the sweepstakes. But then again, you are getting a whole console, so you win some, you lose some. But all right, let's get 1 W for the night. Let's get 1 W. Excuse me. Oh, my bad. I wasn't looking at the chat. How's the new Switch, man? Hey, Owen. Well, you could find out if you enter the sweepstakes, and you too can have a Nintendo Switch 2. But so far, I've been enjoying it. The hardware improvements were much needed. That's like my favorite part of it all. Mario Kart World is kind of meh, but it's Mario Kart. It's not worse than the new Mario Kart, but in my opinion, it's not necessarily better. It's just different. I feel like this is the first Mario Kart where it feels like they kind of ran out of things to do. I don't know. I don't know how to put that in a nice way. I don't want to come off as negative. I think Mario Kart is peaking a little bit. I don't know how they're gonna keep one-upping themselves. But that's my take on the current Mario Kart. And maybe that's because maybe this is the first time where there's been like 2 Mario Karts in circulation at the same time. Like on a home console, like you can literally still play Mario Kart 8. It's not like it went away. Granted, you need the new console to play the new one, but the new console can also play the old one. So it's like you can still play with everybody you used to play with. Nothing really changes there. So I don't know. I really do like the hardware, so I'm looking forward to disassembling that on stream before announcing, before announcing the winner of the sweepstakes. So make sure to join, man. You can have yourself a nice shiny Nintendo Switch 2. And I'm not faking it. I got it. I showed it at the beginning of the stream. It's right behind me. Locked away. Alright, let's get the board put back together. We're gonna snap on those shieldings. First we gotta solder the anchor points. So let's do that. We gotta solder the anchor points. Then we need to add the shielding. And then we're good to go. But hopefully you're still here to hear that, Owen. Just in case you were interested, I want you to know. That's my honest thoughts on it. Alright, let's go ahead and solder these anchor points in. We got this one fixed. This Nintendo Switch OLED that was no longer charging because it had a bad USB-C port. Alright, the anchor points are soldered in. Hey, Player One, have you ever heard of a game called Resonance of Fate? Well, gonna call it a night. Great stream as always. Catch you laters. All right, Player One. My bad. I didn't look up and see your message before I asked you that question. But yes, sir. We will catch you in the next stream. I know you'll be there on Saturday. See you, man. Always glad to have you in the chat. Right, those are looking good. Alright, we got the shields for the USB-C port in. This shield's an extra strain relief. Now we can fully assemble. And we can screw everything in. Well, that's gonna be annoying if these things don't want to stay in place. Okay, this one's being quite annoying. Alright, we got it in. Just make sure we have room for all our connections. We need to get those from underneath the motherboard. Clean that off. Oh yeah, for this one I had to use two tweezers, two sets of tweezers. This one was a pain in the butt. Jumping off, good night. Alright, Kylie, see ya. Probably gonna, well, I'm definitely gonna get this done before I head off, so. Excuse me. Definitely need to complete this one. Alright, still connecting ribbon cables, or reconnecting them. And then from there, I'm going to do final test. Good night, bruv. Alright, Mr. Lugum. Brokovsky. It's pretty late. 7 to 11. It's like 4 hours, man. Alright, let's get the speakers back in. Alright, let's get the screws in. These are side screws. These are the other ones. It's gonna be a lot of screws. Good thing I marked certain ones so I know which ones go where. Let's do a quick recheck of the charger. Go any further with reassembly. 26. Nice. Alright. Charging just fine. Alright, let's reattach the game card slot. Headphone, it's all in one. It's that game card slot, headphone jack, and SD card reader. Let me get the heat pipe in there. Did it out of order. Get the heat pipe first. Okay. Let's get our thermal paste. Nice bead. We're gonna have to put a second one. Right. Okay, so that's all good. because I have the blue on them. Yeah. Yeah, I know, I'm good. We're almost there. It's the home stretch. Then I'm calling it. He's calling it. Sorry, but I've got to go. Good night, Jeff. Please send me the info when you can. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Understandable. Okay, so this screw goes in the top right, just like I thought. Alright, we are almost there. We're almost there. Then I'm gonna call it. Okay. Almost there, peoples. Alright, Wolfpack, we are approaching the final hour. And it's so good to mark your screws. Wait, what? How am I getting an ad on my own channel? How does that make sense? Oh, it's because I'm watching through. Yeah, never mind. Never mind. I understand why. Alright. It's gonna be time to reassemble and test. Nice. This thing has a screen protector. Nice. Very good. Oh no. I'm supposed to put that back just like that. Alright. And this was a nice repair because I had to think outside the box a little bit in order to get that done successfully. Very proud of that one. Alright, where's my back piece? There we are. Don't have nails. Oh, and Alex. JJ said goodnight too. Oh, and Alex. Okay, tell them I said goodnight. Sorry I didn't see it earlier. Said my nephew's working hard. Very good. Tati Kyle says my nephew's working hard. Oh, Taylor, I said thank you. I appreciate that. That's right. We out here trying to get stuff done. Got goals to accomplish. Things to do. Positive things to do, not negative things to do. Because Lord knows we can do the negative things. Those are easy. I'll get off my soapbox. I ain't even gonna act holier than now because I went to Jacob with 25,000. It's two small ones up top, one on bottom, and then the two. Okay, yeah, that's all the screws. All the screws accounted for. I'm about to say, looking at this thing, I'm like, let me double check. Oh, that's satisfying. That little crunch. That little crunch was very satisfying. Alright, let's get the rest of these screws in. Alright, we're on the last stretch of screws, peoples. Last screw? Oh no, never mind. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. We got two more. Alright. And they're underneath the kickstands. This guy. There's two screws hidden. And those are the tri-wings. Sounds like tri-beam. Makes me think of TN. I'm gonna call these the TN Shinhan screws. The tri-beams. Dang, what are we gonna call the chaozus? I gotta figure out what the chaozus are. If these are the tri-beams, I gotta figure out the chaozus. Alright. That was the last screw. And as we've shown before, success. Look at that. And we got juice in the battery now. Let's go ahead and hit the power button, and we're gonna test button functionality. Look at that. Look at that beautiful Nintendo Switch, OG Nintendo Switch screen. Alright. Alright, rails are good. Let me listen for the button clicks. Alright, all the buttons work. I need to test the game card slot and Wi-Fi. So let me test Wi-Fi real quick. There we go, internet. Man, I think I bit my tongue earlier and that junk hurts now. Alright, Wi-Fi network. It's finding networks just fine, so that's good. Last thing I want to check is the... Oh, it makes sense now why they were kind of asking. I think this is their daughter's Switch. That makes sense, because I've noticed customers that have children. Oh yeah, look at that. It's pulling 1.3 amps. That's what you... So it pulls 1.3 amps when you're using it. You're actively using it and charging it. The Nintendo Switch pulls 1.3 amps. That's what I was expecting. So when I see 0.1, 0.2, I think it was trickle charging the battery because the battery was beyond depleted. Like it was super depleted. I think that's the theory I'm gonna go with. Because when a battery really goes, man, it takes a lot to get any amount of electrons forced in there, and then from there you can once you get some electrons, you get the juices flowing, then you can get the rest of them to the party. You know, yeah, it's literally like inviting people to a party. You know, you get a few of them. A party's only hype when a bunch of people are in it. So electrons like the party. That's what I'm going with. They only like hype parties, and a party's only hype if everybody there. You know what I'm saying? Wow, I forgot my Caribbean elixir, yo. Look at this. You see the Caribbean elixir? I forgot about my coconut water, yo. Here, let me send a picture to the customer. Yeah, I gotta cancel that. Oh, nice. They approved me. Nice. Twitch just approved me for 2K streaming. It's a new feature they're testing out. Oh, that'll be cool. I might try that. My next stream might be in 2K resolution instead of 1080p. That's really cool. I like that. That's cool. I didn't think I would get approved, but they approved me. Nice. Nice. Okay. Anyway, back to sending a picture to the customer. Let's get a pic. Oh, and I gotta test the game card slot. Let's do that before I forget. Let's see, which game shall we test? I'm thinking something spiffy and close by. So whatever's close by, that's what we're testing, alright? I'm not a picky man. I just need the first Nintendo Switch game I see. That's what we tested. What is this? What is this? No Nintendo Switch game. Okay, okay. Yes, finally. Alright, this is the closest Nintendo Switch game I could find. Yoshi's Crafted World. Let's put it in there and see. Actually, I feel like if the youngin sees that, they might think they have the game now. So I hope I don't give her false hope. Excuse me, because I don't know how to remove a tile from the Nintendo Switch. Bam! Game card slides cooking. Cooking with gas. Wi-Fi checked. All buttons checked. Let me check the controllers wirelessly. Okay, I was about to say. Oh yeah, of course the controllers are gonna have low battery too. Alright. Okay. Cooking with grease, man. Alright. Let me not want to do what I did and donate a game, so I'm gonna go ahead and take this out. Hate to be that guy. I hope there's a way I could delete it. Because I don't want their, if they have a young child, I don't want the young child thinking like, oh, okay, cool. Nice. Okay, that's how you do that. Alright. I don't want to get her hopes up or something. Oh man, this feels good. This one felt good. I'm not even gonna lie. This one felt really good. Okay, so are the Joy-Cons low battery or they're not low battery? Okay, the Joy-Cons are low battery. This one. I think I never noticed this, but I guess the Nintendo Switch stops at 80% until the Joy-Cons catch up. What did I want to test? I wanted to test something. Alright, anyway. Alright. That's a W. That's a W, y'all. I'm gonna leave this one charging for the customer. So that way when they get their console back, everything's nice and fully juiced. Because that's what I would want, right? Golden rule, do unto others what you want done to yourself. Anyway, my folks, the Wolf Pack, the VW bus, we did the Thug Dizzle, you know what I'm saying? For shizzle. Yeah. We're calling it a night. Thank you if you stayed this long, thank you, you're a trooper. You're nocturnal like me, and I appreciate it. But yeah, until next stream. Tomorrow I might actually stream tomorrow. I don't usually stream on Tuesdays, but no, actually no. I'm sorry, I forgot. I made plans. So I don't normally stream on Tuesdays, but I have something going on with a certain relative of mine. We got some activities we're trying to get into, so that'll be fun. Beyond that, thank you everybody for being here. As always, I'll catch you guys and have a good one. See ya. Peace.